Hey guys, so I haven't made a video in a while, so I'm making one and it's really cold, so I'm in a blanket. It's so cold. It's snowing and I'm like, I thought that the winter was over and it's not. So it's snowing and it's cold. But I want to tell you a story today because I had an interview yesterday for a summer job and I got it. So I'm going to tell you the story of that because it was kind of a hassle that I shouldn't have been, but it's also exciting. So So, last summer, I worked for Emory University with a program called Summer Science Academy under Yolanda Hood, and it was great. I didn't think I did that well, like, I didn't think I was a good employee, but I had a lot of fun and stuff. And then this summer, I was like, I'm gonna do the same thing. And I knew that Yolanda had like a pipeline grant thing going on, but I didn't really know what it meant. So I just applied for Summer Science Academy under Yolanda Hood. Turns out Summer Science Academy is now under Dr. Lee, and Yolanda Miss Hood has the EPIC program, which is a different program. And so my resume got sent to both Yolanda Hood and Dr. Lee, and so they both kept emailing me, and I was like, I'm confused. But Dr. Lee set up a call first for an interview, so I'm like, I'll ask him when he calls me. So the interview was set up for like Wednesday at 3. And I emailed my boss and I was like, hey, I can't go to the meeting today because I did this thing over the meeting, even though that was a lie. The meeting was at 4. But I was like, I don't want to do service outside for 2 hours, so I skipped it. And she got slightly mad, but she was okay. And then he called me 30 minutes late at 3:30 and was like, can you talk? And I'm like, sure, but I'm not excited about it because you are 30 minutes late. And it's not like I was just like sitting by the phone. I was doing homework and stuff, so I wasn't like bored waiting on him. But that's still rude. Rude. And then he was the most unenthusiastic person I have ever talked to on an interview. And he basically talked to me about like how I picked Warren Wilson. And I'm like, this is not what an interview should be like. And then he was like, would Yolanda and I have two different programs? And I was like, oh, huh. And then he was like, so I want you as a program manager, and she wants you as a teacher's assistant. So which would you rather do? And I was like, teacher's assistant. And he was like, okay. And so he was like, I will hand you over to Yolanda then. And I'm like, okay. Because I think he thought that he was the only one who got my resume, which is not true. And then I don't know how Yolanda got my resume actually, because I only sent it to Dr. Dr. Lee's assistant person, but she did. And then that same day, this lady called Andrea Neal emailed me, and the title was Summer Opportunity, and then it was like call me, and then gave me her number. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna call this person and see what it is, because it says Emory on it. So it's something. So I called, and it was Andrea, and like I was like, hey, is this Andrea Neal? And she was like, yes. And I was like, this is Haley Pryor. And then she was like, Haley. And I'm like, do I know you? Like, you got excited. You got real excited. And I don't know why. And then she was like, hold on, I'm on another call. Can you wait like 10 minutes? And then I was like, yeah, of course. And so I like did homework, and it took like 30 minutes, but whatever. I had nothing to do. I was skipping my work meeting. And then she got back and she was like, sorry for the long wait. I wanted to talk to you about working for the EPIC program, which is she, I guess, is the director of. And then, so we were talking, and she was super excited. And she was like, would you rather be in the dorm or a teacher? And I was like, I would rather be a teacher, but I know that you have a lot of applicants that have more schooling than I do, so I think I would be better suited for the dorm. And she was like, well, all of the dorm positions are filled. And I'm like, why do you ask me that question if there wasn't actually a question? And then she was like, no, well, the teacher positions are filled. And I'm like, why did you tell me to call you if the teacher positions are filled? And then she was like, but I would like to have a teacher's assistant for biology and a lab helper, and then a person who does like evening and weekend seminars about like life stuff, life skills, Black history, because it's a summer camp for like minorities, and Black history about like people in the medical field who are awesome, which I'd be kind of excited to learn about that too, because it's not really focused on anywhere. And so I feel like that's a whole bit of history that I don't know, which I should, since I'm going into that field and stuff like that. So that's what I'll be doing. And she was like, consider yourself hired. And I'm like, oh. And then she explained like all the different seminars and fun stuff we do. And it sounds like it would be more fun than being just a teacher or just a dorm person, because I get to do like the fun weekend evening activities, and I get to help with lab and biology stuff, which is like both of my favorite things. Like, it's perfect in every way. So she was like, consider yourself hired. And I'm like, yeah, yay. And then she was like, I've heard great things about you. Well, she was like, your reputation precedes you. And I was like, like, normally people say that when it's bad. And then I was like, oh yeah? And she was like, yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about you. And I'm like, yeah? Like what? Like, what have you heard about me? And then she was like, I heard that you just kind of like do what people ask you, and like, even if you don't really know how to do it, you'll figure it out, and like, you really care about the students. And I'm like, I don't know who you talk to, but I was like the worst employee last year that anyone could have ever hoped for. Like, the worst. So I don't know who she talked to, but apparently I made a good impression on someone. And I was like, yeah, I do. And she's like, I have heard great things and I expect great things. And I'm like, you will get great things. So I'm excited. And it's only 6 weeks. I'll be in Atlanta. I have 2 weeks from when my school starts to when the start date of that is. So I will probably go to Virginia for a week, and then maybe if I can find a ride, Pawleys Island or Myrtle Beach for a week. And then I'll be in Atlanta for 6 weeks. And then I have like 4 more weeks I have to find something to do with. And yeah. And so that was that. It was exciting. I have no new news on transferring. I have finished the Emory application. Tulane is getting my high school transcripts and will give me an ACT test score waiver fee waiver thing, and then they can get my ACT scores and look at them and like see if I'm good enough and accept me. And Spring Hill keeps texting me. They don't even like email me. They text me on my personal cell phone number. And he's like, cool, I got your transcript. This was today. He texted me and he was like, I got your transcript, your high school transcript. Now I just need your ACT scores and you're done. Do you want to email them to me? And I was like, can you email ACT scores? I'm gonna look into that after I finish this video. I don't think you can. I don't know. He's weird. He texts me. Like, I put my preferred method of communication is always email on any format rate. So I don't know what he's doing, but he's texting me. What else? I don't know. I haven't really been doing that much. I have a math class, obviously, and there's 4 of us in it, me and 3 others. And so it's really easy to like talk to each other and make comments and stuff and still like be on track. And so, since it's so easy to talk to each other, like, it's so easy to like notice other people's quirks around math and stuff. This girl beside me has been noticing that like I don't use a calculator and I don't use a pencil, and she's been commenting on it. Like, the teacher was like, I need a pen from someone real quick just to like write this thing down. on my arm, so like needed to be a pen, and I was the only one using a pen, and so I was like, here, and she's like, you write, not the teacher, the kid who sits next to me was like, you write your math notes in pen? And I'm like, yeah, and she's like, someone's confident, and I'm like, yeah, I am. And then she was like, I hate those kids that do math in their head, and I'm like, I do math in my head. I didn't say anything because I didn't want to be like, oh, I do math in my head, I'm better than you, because that's not. And then I was thinking about it, and then I was like, why? Because apparently it's not a normal thing to be confident in your math skills. And I was like, or not like math skills, like I'm not confident in like triple integrals or anything, but I am confident in like arithmetic, like 1 plus 1 is 2. Because we were doing a lot of stuff divided by 26, and everyone was like, I don't know what this is. And I'm like, long division is fine, calm down. And then they're like, but you do it in your head. And I'm like, it's fine. And then I thought about it, and then I was like, I think I know why. And I came up with this excuse for why I do stuff in my head. It's because when I was a kid, like Ronnie, my mom's boyfriend, loved poker, but he was really good at it, and my mom and my sister are super competitive. So I was the only one that would play with him for a really long time, but I was like 8. Like, my favorite game was blackjack, which means you had to like count to 21 and like be like, how many more cards do I need to 21? What's the probability that I will get that card? What do they have? And so it does have math in it. And I couldn't even count. Like, I could count to 29, and then I got stuck at around the same time I was learning to play 21. And I also didn't understand that, like, once you got 21, like, if you got, like, 25 and you busted, you couldn't go back to 21, so I'd be like, I don't have 21, give me more cards. That's not how you do it. And then, so I just learned how to count and add and subtract and multiply in my head, like, super duper fast. Because I needed to. And I did want to win. Like, I was 8 playing against like a 40-year-old, but I was like, I will win at some point. It's gonna happen. So I like learned how to play well. And same with poker, like you had to like recognize patterns and add and be like, what's easier to get, like an 8 of clubs or like a 5 of diamonds. Like, it was fun, and I learned a lot. And I feel like that's one way to get kids into math, is just to play them in poker over and over and over and be like, you will be good at math because I tell you to. It was fun. I liked it. But yeah, that's why I think I'm good at math. I want to talk more because I have homework to do and I don't want to do it. Okay, I'm gonna go now.